Tito, when did you decide? When did you decide that this would be your final fight, and why?
It was a big decision. I went with my family, and of course the injuries are the surgeries I've had. Having 8 major surgeries through my career, starting in 2003 with ACL surgery, ending up with fused C6, C7 in my neck last year after the Liam fight. My biggest enemy has been my body because I push myself so hard. I don't take shortcuts. I go as hard as I possibly can every single training camp, no matter what. No matter what injuries are pushed in front of me. I push them aside and I go through it and I fight. After the fight's over, I fix myself. I'm very thankful for my surgeon, Dr. William Smith out of Las Vegas, who's been able to put me back together. I'm literally the $1 million man because of all the surgeries I have had. But 20 years is good enough for me. I want to make it an even number. An even number, 20 years is perfect. 2 decades. There's only one other fighter I can say he's been in here 20 years, and that's Vitor Belfort. We're 2 old lions. This is my kingdom. And on Saturday night, I'm going to roar. I'm going to show jackals like this guy, Chael, the P, Sonnen, what a king's truly like.
You came in there, you look pretty tense right now looking at Chael. Is he the perfect opponent for you? And how do you envision the perfect ending for your career on Saturday night?
I'm going to dominate. I expect no least than what I expect in my camp, what I've been doing in my camp against the training partners I've had, the work I put in over the last 14 weeks. I dislike this man. Not even a man. He's a child. He's said some personal things about me, and he's lit a fire under my ass like no other. I've been in camp for 14 weeks. This guy thinks he could come in after 8 weeks of camp and compete with me after taking 3 years off. I'm going to hurt him. I'm not looking for a submission. I'm going to dominate. I have something to pay back. He embarrassed me on my birthday. I'm going to embarrass him on Saturday night.
Questions?
First to you, Scott. Do we have a confirmation on the opponent for Colleen Snyder this weekend?
That's something we may have ready to announce later this afternoon, but right now we do not.
Okay. And then you've announced the fact that you're crowning a 145-pound champion right now in the women's division. Are we going to be seeing a flyweight champion crowned this year?
Right now we'll commit to the 145-pound division, and then we'll see how it goes. But I would say by the end of the year, we will have a new 25-pound champion too.
For Paul, now Great Britain has had so many great champions over this past year in terms of the boxing and combat realms. Can you, kind of expand about how proud you might be of Great Britain and how far it's come in terms of the combat realm, and you being a representative of that here on the Bellator?
Yeah. Well, first off, us in Great Britain, we started this shit. We started fighting, we started taking over countries and all that stuff, and. We had the Great British Empire and fighting's in our blood. As far as the recent champions, I think the support that we're getting from the media and the fans getting behind these individual sports is doing great and creating stars, putting on the big fights. And for me, I'm very proud to be a fighter from England.
And for you, Chael, a lot of talk about how media kind of affects a fighter coming into fight week. You seem to be one of those that relish in the fact that you do a lot of the media during fight week. Is there an advantage for a fighter to do that, and to take their minds off of maybe the fight or anything like that? Can you expand that a little bit?
Yeah, I like distractions. I don't even know what Tito's doing here. I came here to fight Wanderlei Silva, and he's busy. I got a phone call, said, you want to fight Tito on January 21st? My wife said we didn't have anything going on, so I came out to California. I love having distractions. I don't like days off. Tito is literally in the only profession I know of where you don't need to wear a suit, and he keeps showing up in one. It's like a local funeral parlor closed, and he went and took it off a corpse.
Dude. It's something you need to learn.
Shows up looking like a maitre d' at Golden Corral.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that he got here. Somebody got him the Uber app, or he thumbed a ride down here. I hope he gets to the forum on Saturday night.
You're very welcome. Your chick actually had red penny night this weekend because you're getting paid because of me.
Speaking of which, Tito, what did you do with the money you won off of Amanda Nunes, by the way?
Actually, I just parlayed it into me kicking Chael's ass.
Yeah, everything in that photo about Tito with that ticket except Tito. I could have sent out that same. You really think Tito Ortiz put 55 grand on Amanda Nunes? Come on, man. No.
Okay, final question for
You
Scott.
were a little speechless on that.
Yeah, a little bit speechless.
Did I
on
just
that.
break it to you that there's something out there called Photoshop?
I think everybody's starting to believe your lies now. Finally, your lies aren't becoming truth, huh, buddy?
Final question for Scott. There's a lot of female free agents out there right now, like Sarah Kaufman and Barb Homchak. Are you looking at the female end of the free agency market, and are we maybe see some of the female stars make their way over to Bellator?
You know, I would say that any fighter, male or female, that's top in the weight class, we'll be talking to all of them if we haven't been already.
2 questions over here, Tito. Last fight, going through that camp, have you thought at all about your legacy, what this is going to mean? Last time walking into fight, is any of that popped into your head while you were working out?
No, not at all. All I've been thinking about is just beating Chael. That's it.
And this is for both of you. Do you recall going back to the time that you guys squared off on the mat, collegiate wrestling? Do you have any recollection? Do you remember any of that? Anything from that match?
Chael doesn't. I do. I don't remember hitting a low single on me. I don't remember that. I just remember him hitting in the headlock and being so pissed after and seeing, do I sit on the chair and say, woe is me? Or do I put my shoes on and go run stadiums? Get ready for the dual meet the next day. And that was a big, huge mark in my life as a person, being a quitter or being a winner. Saturday night will show.
Yeah, I remember it too, man. That was half my life ago, but it seems like just yesterday. The only takeaway I have from that is I remember Tito was very strong. That's the one part. As far as that match went, man, I caught him in a move. If he put me in that move, it would have ended too. It really wasn't a fair representation if we're being open about it. But I remember he was a big, strong guy.
Hey, Chael, Tito. Question for both of you guys. What does your opponent do best, and what do you think you can exploit?
Tito, go ahead. Tell him what I do so well.
Well, he talks well. His mouth has gotten him in every fight, big fight that he's had. And every time when it's time to present and perform, he's failed. On Saturday night, it's not going to change. What I do well, I come in with heart, I come in with determination, I come in with hard work and perseverance. When I get my hand raised, I don't know why. And so are all the millions of fans that have had my back over the last 20 years.
Tito always says I'm using my mouth to get my opportunities. The only person I know that made money using their mouth is his ex-wife.
Well, just to correct you, I was never no marriage. You're a fucking punk, dude. That's what you call class right here compared to no class.
That was a nasty line.
No
by
class.
me.
No class at all. That's why you see him with thongs and fucking jeans and a t-shirt. No class.
They don't call you the bad guy for nothing.
A bad girl.
This is for Ralek Gracie. Is
You
this
don't even fucking know, dude.
Eddie Mercado right here with Bloody Elbow?
Keep feeding that
Is this going to be a one and done for you, or can we expect to see you again inside the Bellator cage?
We have a multiple fight contract, and yeah, I'm looking forward to really, going for it.
Okay, and for Brennan Ward, in your last fight, you had Saad Awad up against the fence, right here. You had Saad Awad in a bad position up against the fence, and he said, hey, do you want to wrestle or do you want to bang? So you obliged him and you separated and you decided to stand and trade. If you have Paul Daley in the same situation, would you oblige him and release him from a precarious situation?
Me and Paul, we're going to stand and bang. There's no question about that. There's not going to be it's going to be no wrestling match out there. Yeah, can I wrestle? Yeah, can I take guys down? Absolutely. Am I going to in this fight? Absolutely not. I'm giving the fans what they're tuning in to see, two of the most exciting guys on this whole roster in any weight class. That's me and Paul. It'd be an injustice to all you fans and everyone else if me and him didn't stand and bang two of the baddest dudes in this whole entire sport. So yeah, get ready for that. Get ready for these bombs coming.
Okay, and for Mr. Coker, when can we expect Rampage Jackson back in the Bellator cage?
We had already talked about him fighting towards the end of March, so we're just locking down the opponent and location, and we got some things to figure out. But maybe we'll have something to announce by early next week or or maybe even Saturday night. We'll see.
Okay, and have you looked into Ryan Bader or Lorenz Larkin as being potential additions to Bellator?
You know, I'll tell you, it goes back down to the philosophy of, look, if you're a free agent and you're completely free and you are in the top rated like Ryan is, and you're free to talk, we're going to talk to you. So we're talking to everybody.
Okay, and for Tito Ortiz, first off, Tito, thank you for everything you have done for mixed martial arts. And can we expect to see you at future Bellator events after your retirement?
I expect to. I guess that's a Scott question.
Mr. Coker?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
Tito's been a great brand. Tito's a legend in the sport. He's done everything. He's accomplished everything, and he's been a great brand ambassador for Bellator. You know, ever since I've been here for the last couple of years.
And I mean, I've been treated with nothing but respect, nothing but class through Bellator. Anything they want me to do, I'm willing to do. I'm here for them. I'm here for the business. I'm here for their company. They need someone, an ambassador, to push it forward. I'm here to do it, without a doubt, with class too.
Scott, can you talk about the landscape of free agency? I know since the UFC has been sold, there's been a lot of cutbacks over there. Do you anticipate them to be making some wholesale cuts in their roster? And maybe, Chael, you may have some inside information on that as well.
Yeah, I think I can't speak to their business philosophy or which direction they're heading. I can only say that the phone has been ringing a lot more in the last 6 months than it has, maybe the year before that. And we picked up 5-6 pretty good free agents, and we're negotiating with 2 or 3 right now. So, like I said, we're committed to going after everybody, and we received the mandate from the top down saying, look, if they're free and you think they can move the needle, then go get them. So that's the commitment.
As Scott said, Tito, we do thank you for your 20 years in the sport. You are clearly a legend. You were the poster boy of the other organisation for a long time. Do you think Chael's making a mistake this is your last fight in the fact that he continues to poke the dragon?
It's kind of funny. I was listening to Christian Walken, little skit he did, and he talked about the lion, king of the jungle, this huge lion with a big giant mane in this hot, smothering weather in Africa. And the little small lions come up, kind of poke at him, bite on his ear, bite on his neck. The lioness comes over and bugs him. Then you got the jackals and the rest of the wilderness looking and seeing this lion's on that mountaintop. And they come over and bother him. The jackals laugh at him. The hyenas laugh at him, nip at his toes. They eat all of his food. And they sit back. And they got jackals like this who think it's a comedy. Until one day he gets sick of it and he attacks and he shows to these people who the fucking king of the jungle is. And this little hyena, I'm gonna eat right through him. And we'll see on Saturday night. You know what? It's good because it fuels me. It's fueled me over the last 14 weeks. And it's great to see because you hear that snoring nose? That's a snoring nose you're gonna hear in the second round of the fight.
That's good. That was good. That was good work by you. I gave you a good setup.
Yeah, you're a good comedian, man. That's about it. You're a good actor. That's about it.
Just here to help.
I'm a fighter. You're an actor. You're on the fucking Apprentice because of me. You're the bad guy because of me. You trying to talk because of me. You've never won a world title. Who's the last champion you've ever beat? Who's the last legend, as you say, you've ever beat? You call yourself a legend? What have you done legendary besides talk? Buddy, on Saturday night, those little blue eyes are going to be sparkling even more, man. Just wait and watch. Just wait and watch. You've dug your grave, man. You have dug your grave.
The F word, that wasn't classy.
I don't care, man.
No,
I don't care. You've ruffled my feathers way too much, partner. You talk about my ex, man. You say shit like that.
You're classy. Tito. Come on. 4-letter words. Come on, Mr. Class. Classy.
You ready to go, Tito?
Yeah. I've been ready to go for the last week.
Now, though?
Yes, like now. But you know what? I'm cool. I'm professional. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Classy.
I'll step back and I'll wait until Saturday. I'm okay.
Can I throw a kind of curveball at you in a way, Chael?
Let's do it.
Surely you have great admiration for what Tito's achieved in mixed martial arts.
I care for everyone. This may be a lie, so just let him go and speak.
Tell another Jackal story about Christopher Walken and a mane and a lion and you and Vitor from back in the day.
Fucking joker. You're a joker. Dude.
Hey, classy.
You're a joker, dude. You're a joker.
Gareth, please, go ahead.
Chael, you've got to deliver on Saturday night. You're a big signing to the organisation. Tito's clearly stoked. What are you going to do to him?
I never understand that. Tito says that he's poking the bear. People say he lit a fire under his ass. There's never been a round in the history of fighting where the judges look around and go, which guy's got a fire lit under his ass? Whatever guy hits the other guy more wins. Whatever guy's got better position, whatever the guy's dominant, whatever the guys go out there and fighting, he can be as motivated as he wants. I can be undermotivated or overmotivated. We're going to go fight. Our skills are our skills. My music will hit those speakers. I'll have my short pants on. I'll grab my mouthpiece and I'll walk to that cage. That's it. I don't care how he's feeling, up, down, or indifferent. We're going to walk out there, and one of us is tougher than the other. I have made a contention since the 90s that I was the baddest dude in the world. I'm either right or I'm not, but it's taken me 20 years to find out. January 21st is going to be that day.
Are you looking for a statement knockout yourself?
No, I'm looking to go out there and fight. The second the ref says go, I will. And what happens after that, I do not know. But I'm ready to fight.
Thank you. Can I just have one more question, please? Can I go all British?
Be classy.
I will. This was a little bit underclassy,
right.
this, but a question for Semtex, Paul Daley. Great to see you, Paul.
Nice one, Gary.
Great to see you on the road, being a road warrior as always in America. And have you kind of taken pleasure in coming over to America and kicking some Yank butt?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it kind of always goes off my head that I'm the British boy. You know, from the streets of Nottingham, you know, drinking pints, eating kebabs, slapping people, you know, the normal stuff that we do. It's a little surreal, you know, and I take great pleasure in coming over here and whooping some Yank ass.
And just on the fact that, you know, obviously you've become a feature in Bellator, and we know what happened. It's well documented in the other organisation. I was there with you that night in Montreal, I think it was it?
Yeah, Montreal.
Bellator have given you a lifeline. I just want you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, Scott, since Scott's been here at Bellator, things have been going well for me. You know, I feel very privileged to be in the position that I am. They keep putting me on these big cards, giving me these big opportunities. And yeah, it's a little surreal to be sitting here with guys like Chael and Tito Ortiz. And I'm the co-main event to this big event. And I think me and Brennan Ward, I think it's the right fight to have before Tito and Chael. And I think those guys are going to have a hard time beating what me and Brendan Ward are about to do on Saturday night.
You must be delighted that he wants to stand toe-to-toe as well.
Yeah. You know what? He says he wants to stand toe-to-toe, and he's a fighter with the same guy. Like I said, you spill Brennan Ward's beer, you're going to get a slap. You spill my beer, you're going to get a slap. You know, we're fighters. We got that mentality, and I hope he does not you know, listen to the coaches, because I'm sure they're going to be imploring him to wrestle. I hope he does, you know, just fight wherever we're at. Just fight, whether it be standing on the ground or whatever. We're just going to fight. That's what we do.
Brilliant. Thank you all very much.
For Tito, you briefly flirted with retirement in 2012. Now you've come back and you're retiring again. What has been different this time around, and what did you really learn from the first time that you tried to step away from the cage that will sort of help you relish and focus on this experience?
Well, you know, at the time I was going through some really hard personal stuff. My children were number one. My kids, I had to get full custody of them. I had to fight for my kids. I fought for them. I got full custody of them. I had to get away from a company that was disrespectful towards me, that was painting me in a bad limelight that wasn't true. So I had to walk away. And as I walked away, I got a hold of Bellator, and they wanted to sign me, and I wanted to fight. At the time, I was only 38 years old. I felt young. I felt good. I went to some competitions, and it seemed like something I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that when I walked away that I wasn't happy about it. I want to make sure when I walked away that I was like going, yes, I gave it my all. I gave it everything I possibly can do. And now that Scott Coker's a part of this company, it's been every way I've always thought it should have been when I left the UFC. I'm very, very thankful for all the staff at Spike, all the staff at Bellator, to give me this opportunity to compete. And I wanted to be done by 40 years old. Took a couple years, I guess still got that lion in me. I want to fight, and this is just a perfect ending to a perfect story.
And then for Chael, Chael, you've been in the cage with really dynamic guys like Anderson Silva and John Jones, guys that are difficult to game plan for. Tito presents a little bit more solid challenge where you know he's going to come out and he's going to wrestle you and box you. Is there a fear of maybe overlooking him a bit because you know what he's really going to try and do?
You know, I came from a wrestling background. I took on 4 or 5 guys, 6 guys in one day. And you never knew who your opponent was, is my point. It's a bracketed format. Even when you know who shows up, you don't know who's going to win, who's going to advance, what side of the brackets it's on. Point is, I've never game planned. I've never watched the other guy and thought, well, he does this and I need to do that. I focus on myself completely. They throw in new guys all the time, and it doesn't make any difference to me. I show up ready to fight, and that's it. And my skills are my skills. And sometimes it's been enough, and sometimes it hasn't. But either way, you make that walk and you find out.
And then just for Scott, you know, you've been with Bellator now for a couple of years, and you've been in this game for a long time. Where does this event, you know, at the LA Forum, Tito Ortiz's farewell, Chael Sonnen's comeback, where does that really rank for you in terms of opportunities to promote fights?
Well, I tell you, it's this is a big event, and I think this is probably the biggest event, or I can say it's the biggest event in the Bellator history of its fight company. And I think I've been associated with some pretty big shows, but I think this one is going to be, it's going to take the cake, and I think we're going to have a great attendance. I think we're going to have some great fights, and I think we're going to have fights from top to bottom. I mean, if you guys have a chance to show up early and see the undercards, we have some great fights on there, so you'll get to see some of the young talent up and coming, and then you'll get to see, you know, the main TV card. So as far as the event, I mean, you guys can feel the hype. I feel the hype, and I can feel that this is starting to really roll. Feeling really good about it.
And just quickly for Brennan over here, compared to, you know, you're really a homegrown Bellator guy. You've spent most of your career with the promotion. What are your thoughts on watching the promotion grow from when you've fought in small casinos to now you're about to co-main event at the LA Forum? And then, you know, there's a lot of new guys in the 170-pound division. You know, if you can beat Paul, where do you really think that puts you in that division?
You know, I'll start with your first question. You know, being with the company since 2012, you know, this is my, I think, 14th fight with Bellator, and you know, it's kind of wild to see, you know, how big it's getting. You know, it's almost like a household name now. You know, just like the other organization that everyone, you know, talks about. And you know, back when I started, man, there's, you know, I'll never forget my first fight with Bellator in Rhode Island. You know, where we're from, and there was probably, you know, it was at a college, it was on a college campus, URI, University of Rhode Island, at the Ryan Center, and man, there was probably 1,000 people there, max, probably 1,000 people, you know. And now fight at Mohegan Sun, where I'm from, you know, another local spot sold out, 10,000 people come out to LA, you know. It's gonna be packed. It's wild to see the growth, especially in the last 2 years since Mr. Coker's taken over. Man, you know, he's done his thing. His credentials show for him what he's done in the past with different organizations. He's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. He's doing a pretty good job steering the ship. You know what I mean? It's taking us all along for the ride. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity. And your second question about other 170-pounders in the division, you know, guys like me and guys like my opponent on Saturday night, we don't care who we fight. We'll fight any dude. That's like what Chael said. I come from a wrestling background as well. I don't do a lot of game planning. You know, I'd have 5-6 matches in a day at a national tournament. I go into double overtime. I wrestle a total minutes more than I probably fought in my last 5 fights in one tournament. So you can put us up against any guy, and it don't matter who we fight. We're gonna fight anybody. We're wrestlers. That's what we do. We fight anybody at any time, any place, any weight. That's how we get down.
Chael, you made the comment recently that you felt as if your career had begun at the same time as Tito's did, that you would have beaten him early on and that he wouldn't have gone on to have the kind of career that he had at the other organization and at here because you would have handled him early on. Where does that level of confidence come from that you're so much better than him?
I think Tito's awesome. I don't dispute that he belongs in the Hall of Fame, that he's a legend, and I don't dispute any of his world championships. My contention from day one is I was the baddest dude in the world and I couldn't get my opportunity. When I got it, I ran with it, and I'm still here. But I was in the practice room with world champions, Pride world champions, UFC world champions. I knew everybody in the world that could whip my ass, and that guy's name was Randy Couture, and there was no one else out there. And the guys that were around and the guys that had the belts, they will tell you I was whipping them on a daily basis, and they did everything they could to keep me out of the organizations. That's a reality. I thought I could beat Tito, but I never locked up with him. I don't know for sure, but I told everybody that I could, and it took me 20 years to get here, and we're all going to find out together whether that statement's true or not.
No, I did everything I wanted to do the way I wanted to do it, with integrity, with respect, with class. And I look back on it and I did it with integrity, man. And I inspired millions of people. You gotta understand, I wanted to be a high school wrestling coach. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to help youths. I want to help the kids who were coming up, who were on the streets, who had nothing to show for, who their teachers or their parents or their friends would call them pieces of shits. And I was that kid on the street who came from nothing and was able to achieve everything in my life. I'm able to give my children everything they have through hard work and dedication, and they wrestle too. My true name is Jacob. In the Bible, Jacob wrestled against an angel. The angel beat Jacob and saved his life. Wrestled and saved my life. I have no regrets of anything I've ever done. I look back on it, and I've worked hard to get where I am today as a human being on this earth. I'm very, very thankful to all my fans. Thankful for Scott Coker. I'm thankful to Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta and Dana White, and I probably shouldn't be, but I am, because they gave me an opportunity back in the day. I'm thankful that Chael called me out, because now I get an opportunity for redemption.
I like kicking ass, and don't forget, it's not 39 years old, it's 39 years young. It is not how many miles the car has, it's how many miles the car has left. I will honor this contract. I've honored every contract that I had. I could not be happier to be over here at Bellator. I'm on a Legends ass-whipping tour. I'm starting with Tito. I'm moving on to Vandalay, and I will let you know who the opponent is after that. But there's a lot of guys that need their asses kicked. I thought I was done.
After
I thought
all
my
that
race was
practicing
ran.
and you hicked up on that?
Interrupting
Jesus,
is not classy.
God. I'm
No,
just saying.
interruptions aren't. Look at that.
heard the
Brought
same
him
things
down in the
over and
dirt
over
with
and
me.
over
Did
again.
said he wouldn't come here, but I got him here, didn't I? Got him all frustrated in his nice suit and his four-letter words. What was I saying? I was saying something brilliant. What was it? I've lost my own train of thought. Saturday night, live, free, and only on Spike TV. Have I mentioned that? Tickets still available at the Forum, even though we already have a record gate. You guys know that? A record gate. Look
And
at
make
this
sure you
press
throw that
conference.
Eminem quote in too while you're at it.
Never-
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Marshall Mathers. 'Cause you know him so well.
Tito, classy. Classy. Look around this room. Never had a press conference so big. Wait until the weigh-in tomorrow. You're never going to see more people at a weigh-in. Biggest fight in Bellator history. This is the biggest fight of the year. This is how we're kicking things off over here. Live, free, and only on Spike TV. People have asked me, how do you sell this fight? Why should we tune in to watch you and Tito? This is the first time I've been in a main event and I don't have anything to sell. I could not sell the fans something if I wanted to. This is free, which means everybody can afford it except Tito. Because he's broke. Did you get it? Broke? It's back to the car comment. Hello, is this thing on? Check
We got
1,
a
2, mic
comedian.
check.
Yes, comedian. I forgot his punctuation.
Anybody? Hello, check on 2. Free TV, but he can't afford. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
No, they just don't believe it.
All right, let me
dude.
connect the dots. See, a while
They
ago
just
I
don't
said
believe it,
Tito's
that's why.
car was re-put. You know,
Yeah.
just forget it. Just forget
Yeah,
it.
yeah. They don't believe it, so it's cool.
For Chael, it's obvious how angry you've gotten Tito, not just today, but throughout the lead up to this fight on Saturday. Did you expect this from him? I mean, you're getting all the laughs from everyone in the room, and they're kind of looking at Tito with a tilted head at his remarks. But like, is that something you expected? And in a way, do you kind of feel he's making it easier on you by getting more angry?
Well, I don't know that it's going to be easier. Look, he can be happy, sad, or indifferent. He's got good skills, and I got to go deal with those. But that's where it ends. As far as the motivation goes, I trust that he's plenty motivated. We're going to be on Spike TV fighting half naked for a paycheck and the applause of a drunken audience. I don't think either one of us needs to be overly motivated. As far as did I know I would generate this? Of course I knew I'd get this reaction. I'm a puppet master. I'm a genius. That's why I show up in a $20 T-shirt and he shows up in a dead guy's suit. One of us has to work harder than the other one at it. One of us is a natural. And by the way, Tito said I'm on The Apprentice because of him. I win The Apprentice. Write that down.
And realizing now, a couple days before the fight, it's been a while since you've gone through the pre-fight media and everything. How much have you missed this, being in the spotlight like this?
I missed it, man. It's hard to replace it. You know, the sports in general are for kids. And if you're fortunate enough to do it as an adult, if you're fortunate enough to extend your career, and the guys that I looked up to, the Randy Couture's, Dan Henderson's, Matt Lindland's, these guys, not only for their successes, but I also admire the fact that they were able to extend their careers. Tito's one of those guys. He extended his career. It's very hard to do. There's a real discipline that has to be involved in that. There's some real smartness and some navigation that has to be done. So I feel very fortunate. But to your point, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. And for Tito, how are you planning on controlling your anger once you get in the cage over here?
I've been fueled on the anger my whole career. You haven't noticed that? Oh, you must be new. I'm sorry.
Not new.
No, I've been fueled on anger my whole time, my whole career. I love it. I love to prove people wrong. I've been doing it my whole life. I love to prove all my fans right, that have my back no matter what. This is what I'm fueled on. I love this. In the very beginning, I used to go in the arena, and I would go sign autographs. I'd put my back to a wall, and I'd be with the fans. And I'd sign autographs with the fans before the fight. Yes, defending my world title, I'd still do it. I remember Danny yelling at me saying, "You can't be doing that." No, I want to do that. I want to be there with the fans. I'm an emotional person. I live on emotions. People say, "Oh, you shouldn't fight angry." No, I fight angry because I fight smart when I'm angry. Because I know what's on the line. And what's on the line is my life. This ain't a competition. This ain't a match. This ain't a wrestling match. This is a fight. I'm here to dominate. I'm here to hurt that man. The one who causes the most amount of damage in the quickest amount of time is going to be the winner. Plain and simple. Fact.
Thank you.
Other questions?
One more over here. Hisaki, you see all this energy. This looks like it's going to be Scott's already smiling over here because it looks like it's going to be a really good show. You see all this energy out here. We haven't talked to you about the entertainment and what we're going to see from you tonight, trying to keep up with what we think is going to be a great card.
Yes, well, the last fight I had another knockout, so this time my opponent is a jiu-jitsu top fighter. So I know what he's going to do, and he knows that I'm going to try to punch him and knock him out. So, you know, I'm on a big card, so I will try my best to be a part of it and to have another highlight.
If I can follow up with Chael for just a second, can I get 20 seconds talking to the fans about why they want to tune in, why they want to buy a ticket, why this is the reason why Bellator is on Spike?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, they already have. The tickets are bought. The parties are set. People are going to be tuning in. These are going to do record numbers. Listen, I have never missed a Tito Ortiz fight. There is nothing like the energy that Tito brings. There's nothing like the entrance that he makes. There's nothing like the charisma. And if he beats you, he's going to bury you, and there's something to watch there. But at the end of the day, I'm Chael P. Sonnen, and the P still stands for icon.
Panocha.
Biggest draw in the history of the sport, sold more tickets, T-shirts, or pay-per-views than anybody, and now I'm in the ratings game. And when I left this sport, I had all of those numbers. FS1, Big Fox, all of them. North American Gate, I lost every one of those records. But I'm here to get them back, and they never would have left my grasp if I hadn't retired.
Tito, same thing to you, to talk to your fans. Huntington Beach, Southern California. Your last fight at the Forum, someplace you probably grew up hoping one day you could perform there.
I grew up here. Born and raised.
Born and raised. So talk to your homeboys in Southern California. Give me 20 seconds on why they want to watch this thing coming up on Saturday, seeing you walk in for the very last time.
Well, it really begins at the beginning of the card, all the way up to the main event. Brennan Ward, Paul Daley, these guys are going to throw down. I know what I need to do in the final fight. It'll be my last fight. My hand's going to be raised. And it's going to be hit with bad emotions. Everything I do. This guy is just, I could smile about it because you know what? Fight time is that close. People would tune in on Spike TV on Saturday night and watch the destruction of Chael Sonnen. And the P stands for Panocha.
Are you promising an exciting fight?
I promise you an exciting fight. I have 35 minutes in my heart to fight. This fight's only 15 minutes. I've been training this way for 14 weeks. I saw him at the commercial shoot. He's a fat guy, and nothing against fat men, but as an athlete, he's not taking this fight right. He's not taking this fight smart. He's already looking on to Vanderlei Silva. Buddy, you better look what's in front of you right now.
One last one for either Jon or Scott. I mean, sitting here with these legends, this energy, this kind of excitement. Jon, I mean, could you ask for a better card or a better lead up for Saturday night on Spike?
We haven't had this kind of energy ever going into a fight, and we're absolutely thrilled. As we've said, as you said, we've got an amazing group of athletes up here going to put on a show, and I'll say on the production side, we're gonna put together a hell of a show as well. So everybody's bringing their A game, in the cage, out of the cage, and it's going to be in the forum. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Tito, you've referenced integrity multiple times today. What does that mean specifically to you? What are you talking about when you talk about integrity?
Not selling out. I never bowed down to anybody my whole career. I've looked in the mirror and I've been respected for myself. I've had respect for myself no matter what. And it just goes about over and over again. For the last business I worked for, I was embarrassed. I was talked down upon. And I never gave. I always did it my way no matter what. That's the integrity. The integrity, understanding that, you know what, I'm going to do it my way no matter what. And at the end of the day, I could be happy with myself with respect and integrity. That's what I mean.
Chael, Tito talked about seeing you shirt off. He called you a fat guy. This is your first fight in over 3 years, first training camp in over 3 years, first fight since your issues that are well publicized. How did you feel going through this fight camp? Was this fight camp noticeably different for you in terms of your preparation, and physically, how do you feel coming into this contest?
Lean, mean, and 217. Solid steel and sex appeal. The women's pet and the men's regret. I could not believe he called me fat. Look at the size of these arms, and when you're focusing on that, focus on this, because I got two of them. That's basically clean, by the way, I'll mention. Pretty much. Tito Ortiz, Saturday night. Chael, call me a fat guy. What am I supposed to do with that? I've never been called a fat guy before. Though, to his point, perhaps I wasn't in as good a shape as I am now, but the bottom line is the fight's on January 21st. I fight anybody, anywhere, at any time.
Guys, we'll do one or two more.
This is for Alec. Alec, this is Sergio, MMAFightpass.com. Why, after 7 years, you decide to come back to a big MMA organization? And question 2, how do you plan on dealing with Kato striking, being that he has 7 knockouts?
Why did I come back? I feel, I never really left, and for me, my spirit has always been as a fighter and as a competitor. And I took some time to explore other opportunities in my life. And I've always wanted to be in the ring and watching different fighters through the years. This modern MMA thing is pretty interesting, and there's not a lot of really high quality jiu-jitsu. And I feel a certain obligation, I guess, to come in and represent and show my style and represent the style of my family. And Bellator, I think under the leadership of Scott specifically, I felt really good about it. I've been following the path that they've been on. And personally, Scott, I must say that the first meeting I had with him, we had sat down, we had a lunch, or we just kind of sat down and talked. I'm not sure, I don't think we even ate, but we sat down and talked, and I got the feeling from him personally that he actually understands the value of an artist and of a martial artist, and he understands the benefits and the experience of a martial artist. And I think that is the key distinction between, I think the quality of an organization and what it can bring to the world, really, And I think martial artists, if you look across the board at any, organization, and you look at the best fighters of all time, they've always been martial artists, and they've always been the guys who, bring something that represents their style and represents something that they really believe in. And in that way, I feel cut from the same cloth, and I feel I can't avoid it, So the time is right, and it just came together. So, yeah. What was your second?
Second question was, Kato had 7 knockouts, and you're a jiu-jitsu fighter, and how are you gonna deal with his striking?
Yeah, I mean, I think the basic answer is it's gonna end up on the ground, you know, I think one way or another. And I think at that point, it's gonna be a very, very dangerous situation. But I think we've, you know, with obviously you understand that I'm sure you've seen the videos and you've seen the history, and I think there's that classic, you know, stand up to ground battle, and I think, you know, the statistics prove that the fight is actually likely to end up on the ground, you know, and I think it's just a question of who knows what when it gets there. And I think a lot of times if you decide to stay standing and throw punches, great, you can do that, and fighters do that all the time. I'm looking forward to this fight, Mickey Ward, and you know, I think Daley is going to be a great fight. So, but for me, I think
I'll take that.
I'm looking that you know, I'm gonna get my fill of the striking there, and I think if the fight ends up being on, you know, staying up and I'm on my feet and I have to fight, I'm gonna fight, you know. So I don't know what he's expecting, but I think at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna be in the cage, and it's gonna be up to us what happens in there, which is obvious, goes without saying, but I think it's pretty tough to avoid.
Mickey Ward was a pretty good fighter anyway, wasn't he?